Welcome to the LOWKEY podcast. Now, the topic for today is it's okay to be single. People act like being single is the end of the world, and there's something wrong with you. You are that unfinished product that nobody wants, but it is far from the truth. I think being single is one of the most, liberal thing to do, and it's the best time to find yourself. And you have a lot of freedom. But not saying that in a relationship you don't have freedom, because in a relationship, if you are happy, of course you have the freedom. But what I'm trying to say is being single is perfectly fine. And tell you a bit of my story. I've been single for almost 2 years now, and before this, I break up with my long-term relationship, long-term partner. So what happened here is the last couple of years of our relationships, I'm constantly trying to please her, and I'm just not being myself. And then I just feel like if it was the me now, time travels go back to the days because I was really unhappy at that time. I should have cut ties really early and I should have ended things really earlier because I guess people really are afraid to be single, and I'm no different. So I am afraid of being single. That's why I try to keep the relationship going, but it doesn't really help. I feel like I'm just becoming this person that I actually don't respect myself, and I actually sort of lose myself in a way. And I just feel like if you have the courage to become single, and that's nothing, and put it in your mind, there's nothing wrong to be single. And then it's better than having the wrong person in your life than being single. And that's a bit of my story. And I'm not saying that, so I've been single for 2 years now, and I'm not saying that I'm not looking. I am looking, but unfortunately, I'm more focused on myself at the moment. And if that right person came by, I don't mind giving a try and or anything. But at this time, I'm really focused on myself. I'm trying to build some career for myself. I'm trying to build this business, and I feel like it takes a lot of time, and I don't think that I have a time for another person. But if that person is there and I feel like she is the right person, I would actually pursue the relationship. And I feel like everybody should too. There's no right time. But I also feel like I'm not chasing. I have this theory, like, so don't try to catch a butterfly, right? This theory, I think, is very popular on the internet. But so this theory is don't try to catch butterfly, but build a garden and have some flowers in it to attract the butterflies. And this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build something within me and build that confidence and build that financial stability for myself. And if that person came by, and then if they want to stay, great. If not, move on. I'll still focus on building that garden, if that makes sense. And that being said, I've tried a lot of things. I tried dating apps. And I feel like dating apps, it's like looking for, it's actually the same with job hunting, but actually more difficult than job hunting. I think everyone is trying to sell a version of themselves, and I feel like you need to be a very good looking guy or a girl to actually be successful in dating apps. I'm not saying that it won't work, but I just feel like I'm just gonna be really honest here. And Aussie guys, because I'm in Australia, so Aussie guys are really good looking and they are usually very nonchalant, and I just feel like I don't have something to compete with that. But because I'm not a great photographer, I don't have a great selfie, I don't have a great picture of myself, and I just want to be clear that I also not a very great looking person, but I just feel like dating apps is there's a lot of things missing in dating app for me. How I'm a really awkward person. I'm really awkward texter as well. And but if I see you in person, actually I can see if we catch a vibe or not, right? But if it's on the phone, I think it's really dry. I'm not a great texter, like I said. I just feel like it's pretty awkward in dating apps. But let me hear your story. If someone is listening and can provide some insight. But that's my dating apps story. But I feel like dating app can be successful because I actually do have friends who is in a beautiful relationship and they are married and have a beautiful family now. And she found her husband in Tinder, I guess, Tinder or Hinge, but it works for them and good for them. Really happy for them, but I'm saying that it doesn't work for me, but it can work for someone else. Now, that being said, I'm not actively trying to look for someone because I am trying to have this moment to actually figure out what do I want and who am I trying to be. And because who you are, wait, let me rephrase this. You attract who you, wait, you attract, yes, you attract what you are, not what you want. So if you want to become, sorry, if you want to attract a person, your ideal person, you have to be that ideal person to match up with, if that makes sense. For example, if you don't know who you are and you don't know what you're gonna be, and you'll end up dating with someone who is also unsure who you are or who you guys are gonna be, and it's gonna be really confusing. I guess this is what people call situationship, I guess. There's a lot of people do that, and I genuinely don't recommend it. But it is your life, but I genuinely don't recommend people do casual relationship or situationship. I just don't think that's a good way to spend your time, effort, and energy. And money, of course. Well, just to say that maybe being alone and being comfortable alone is a sign of maturity and a sign of you're actually getting ready for a relationship. Because all these people are so afraid of being by yourself, being alone, that you are chasing the wrong person or you are being with the wrong person. I know people are fear of being alone, but I just feel like when you are alone, you got so much thing to figure out and you got so much time to figure yourself out. And sure, some nights are lonely, but maybe because I'm a super introvert, I don't really mind being with myself. I actually try. I'm really good at entertaining myself, to be honest. And I just feel like being alone is not such a bad thing, especially if you have a long relationship before and all the bad years, a couple years at the end is pretty bad. And I feel like maybe I should have ended things a bit earlier. I wasn't happy, but I'm pretty afraid of being alone at that time. Now thinking back, I should have cut things earlier, and I'm still learning. Oh, so the closing message is now it's perfectly fine to be alone. There's nothing wrong with you and nothing wrong with me. People can call you a loser, whatever, but who you are. And of course, I would suggest people not to lower their standards. I feel like people lowering their standards are really people who ask you to lower their standards are the ones that who can't reach your standard. That's a stupid advice for me. Why are you lowering your standards just because people can't reach your standard? I just don't think that anyone should lower their standards because people can't reach their standard. If you want to have a high standard, of course you want to match that standard. For example, if you have a high standard of picking your partner, and you can't be lazy, fat, and doing nothing, right? You can't be lazy, fat, and have BO or have bad habits or being a slut. When it just doesn't work. And wanting to have a high standard, meaning that you are also having a high standard for yourself as well. And I feel that. So I just feel like don't lose your standard, don't rush things, stay single until you feel like it is the right person. And I feel like people should actually avoid. I know nowadays it's really hard. I think people should avoid short-term relationship at all costs. It's just not gonna work. Unless it might, but I don't see any example in my life. Maybe you have. Tell me, brighten me up. I might be missing something, but this is the Loki podcast, and it's okay to be single. No matter how lonely you are, it's okay. Things will be great. Just focus on yourself, improve yourself, and be a better person so that you can attract a better person. That's the message. Also, this is the third day on No Not November. Guys, we can do it. Nothing is a challenge that you refrain yourself from. Nothing. And I feel like everybody should do it. Because self-discipline, self-control makes you a better person. I'm gonna stop the podcast now, and I'll see you next time.